What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventurer 1994 here, and today is Saturday, October 12th, 2024, and I wanted to make this video 3 days ago, but I didn't want to do it during Hurricane Milton's impact on Florida because it kind of felt weird doing the video while the state's being impacted by a major hurricane, by such a monster of a hurricane. And something else came up on Friday and I was too busy to do a video. But anyways, here you go, guys. I want to make this video because this is the first week of the 2024 and 25 NHL season. It's the first week of a brand new season of the NHL. The Rangers have started their season back on Wednesday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And they actually shredded the Penguins 6-0. That was definitely enjoyable to watch. It's the start of a brand new hockey season. It's a fresh start, and the Rangers look fresh, alright. Because they shred Pittsburgh 6-0. 6-0 on Wednesday night in Pittsburgh. And it's actually pretty rare for the Rangers to start out with the Penguins. The Rangers never really open a season with the Penguins. That's like really rare to see. And the Rangers and Penguins don't really meet that much in October. It's like really rare for them to meet in October. That's kind of how this is a rare game, where the Rangers start off their season against the Penguins. And it ended pretty well. The Rangers shred my most hated hockey team, 6-0. This is definitely a fresh start for the Rangers, and this shows that the Rangers are still staying strong. And the Rangers just finished playing the Utah Hockey Club, which is the relocated team of the Arizona Coyotes. Yeah, the Rangers ended up losing in overtime to the Utah Hockey Club, the new relocated team. And that's pretty understandable because surprisingly, ever since their move out of Arizona, Utah has been playing pretty strong hockey lately. It's like the move has somewhat changed the team. Even though the players are the same and everything, somehow they just changed for the better. Yeah, Utah's been playing some real strong hockey lately. They've been looking pretty strong ever since their move. Yeah, I still didn't expect them to make this strong start of the season, I still expected them to be flat like they were in Arizona. Yeah, Arizona was like one of those teams that never really saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Arizona always looked like this flat team, like every single year. There were also seasons where they just looked really bad and stayed in last place the whole season. Yeah, that's why I remember from Arizona. Yeah, there was like in 2017 and 18 and the 2021-22 season, they were a team that never really won anything in the month of October. They were like on a very bad losing streak, and they immediately fell into last place on the spot. Yeah, that's how bad Arizona was when the Coyotes were in Arizona. They really looked like a hopeless team, even when they made the expanded playoffs in 2019 and 20. Yeah, they still weren't really a playoff team. They were like in 5th place, which was still not strong enough for them. And they nearly missed the playoffs that year. The only reason they got into the playoffs was because the NHL expanded the 24 teams that one year due to the virus and the rest of the regular season getting canceled in March. So they cut right to the playoffs in the summer to 24 teams. And they were trying to make up for lost time, and they decided to expand the playoffs to 24 teams and add a qualifying round into the playoffs. Yeah, that was like the only way Arizona got into the playoffs, even though they weren't that strong enough to make the playoffs that year. And they were like just in fifth place, so like not really strong enough. Yeah, they were trying to get back on top, but they weren't that strong enough in the regular season. Yeah, Arizona never looked that strong in the regular season. It was like only that one time in the playoffs when they were known as Arizona. The last time they were actually strong was when they were known as the Phoenix Coyotes. And they made the 2010, 2011, 2012 playoffs. That was like the last time I actually saw Arizona play this strong. When they were known as Phoenix. But their move to Utah, they somehow changed into a better team. Anyways, I'm not gonna waste my time talking about Utah. The Rangers still lost in overtime despite strong effort. But I don't know how they ended up giving up goals in the game. But Utah was playing some strong hockey. They were actually leading the game first, and then we started catching up, and the game went to overtime, and then Utah scored in overtime. Hopefully the Rangers will continue to be this strong. They continue to win games and make another long run in the playoffs. Hopefully the Rangers stay the same like they were the last year. It'd be really nice to see the Rangers win the division again and the President's Trophy. I really hope that for the Rangers. Hopefully they still have it to win the President's Trophy again. That's exactly what I'm hoping for the Rangers this year. Because the team is still strong enough to do anything. And our next game will be against the Red Wings. I can't wait to see what the Rangers do for the 2024-25 season. And hopefully they make a long run in the playoffs again in the spring. And hopefully Shea's team, the Islanders, could make the playoffs for a third straight year. Just like in 2021 when we were in that half season due to the virus. Hopefully his team could make the playoffs for a third straight year, just like what they did in 2021. And they made that long run into the third round with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, hopefully both teams do well this year and they make the playoffs once again. The Rangers will return to the playoffs for the fourth straight year, and the Islanders will return for their third. Hopefully mine and Shea's team are still strong this year. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what the Rangers do this year. And hopefully they still have the strength from last year to make some huge moves and win the division and probably win the President's Trophy again. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. We still have 6 months. The season just started, and let's enjoy some hockey, shall we? Yeah, the Rangers almost had the game tonight, but they still gave up some goals. And you gotta face the fact that Utah has been playing strong hockey lately. But the Rangers were strong enough to make it to overtime that long. Yeah, they were still going strong even though they gave up some goals tonight. I'm still optimistic. I'm still positive for this team. Hopefully they can still show some things. And hopefully they still have the strength I saw in them last year. So what else I want to talk to you guys about is that both the Mets and the Yankees have officially made the conference series. The Mets are heading into their first conference series since 2015, when they were making the run for the World Series. And they will now be facing the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Conference Series. One of my favorite teams are in the Conference Series. And my grandfather's team, the Yankees, They are now in the American League Conference Series once again. And they will be facing the Cleveland Guardians. These are going to be intense matchups, but hopefully both teams can pull it off. And the Mets and the Yankees, hopefully they'll both make the World Series, just like in 2000 when we had a Subway World Series. And the Yankees won that. But I'm rooting for the Mets to win that if that happens again. Of course I'm going to root for the Mets, either way. Whether it's against the Yankees or the Guardians, I'm going to root for the Mets no matter what. So, yeah. The Mets are playing my 5th best team in the MLB, called the Dodgers. And the Yankees are facing the Guardians. These are going to be really tough matchups, but hopefully the Mets and the Yankees will pull it off and meet each other in the World Series again. Just like in 2000, when we had that Subway Series, World Series, where the Yankees won that one. And my team met the Yankees in the World Series. But if that happens again, I'm definitely rooting for the Mets to take that one. The best case scenario World Series matchups would be the Mets and the Yankees, or the Mets or the Guardians, or the Yankees and the Dodgers. If the worst case scenario World Series matchup happens and it's the Dodgers and the Guardians, I'm going to be rooting for the Dodgers to win the World Series. Because of Jackie Robinson. I respect the Dodgers because of Jackie Robinson when the Dodgers were known as the Brooklyn Dodgers back in the day. Yeah, so if the worst case scenario matchup happens, World Series matchup happens, I'm rooting for the Dodgers against the Guardians. And if it's the Yankees and the Dodgers, I'm going to be rooting for the Yankees. And if it's the Mets and the Yankees or the Mets and the Guardians, then it's the Mets, of course. Yeah, I am so impressed that the Mets were able to take down the no-good Phillies. Especially because it's their first ever playoff meeting. The Mets have never faced the Phillies in the playoffs before, and this year was the first time they ever faced the Phillies in the playoffs. And the Mets won it in the division series. They eliminated the Phillies in the first ever playoff matchup, where they faced the Phillies. Yep, our first matchup against the Phillies in the playoffs, and the Mets won it. I am so impressed about that. I was expecting a bumpy ride, but the Mets pulled it off. And it gave me much more hope and optimism. And hopefully the Mets will do the same thing against the Dodgers. The way they pulled off the Phillies. I know it's going to be another bumpy ride because the Dodgers are a strong, compact team. But hopefully the Mets will be strong enough to pull it off. I know it's going to be another bumpy ride, but hopefully the Mets will still have it when they face the Dodgers in the conference series. But once again, I am so impressed the way the Mets took out the Phillies. Especially because it's their first ever playoff beating. That was incredible. I was expecting it to be much more challenging, but yet again they pulled it off. And the Mets will be starting their conference series tomorrow against the Dodgers. It's going to be some series. And the Yankees and the Guardians is going to be some series also, because the Yankees and the Guardians have tough battles when they face each other in the playoffs. Because the Guardians tend to be very aggressive when they're in the playoffs. And they can make long runs in the playoffs. And facing my grandfather's team, the Yankees, that's some challenge right there. Yeah, so both matchups are going to be challenging. The Mets and the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Guardians. We're looking at two tough matchups here. And hopefully the Mets and the Yankees pull it off. And they meet in there. And they meet in the World Series together, just like they did in 2000. And have a Subway Series World Series. So I guess that's it. Bye.